Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, Comcast and Spectrum merging into a single company. Don't laugh, there's actually some talk about it happening within Wall Street. We'll tell you what's happening and more there. AT&T is also shutting down its 5G home internet service in a state. It's because of a new law that forces them to sell internet for a specific price they say they just can't afford. And there's a new show coming to MeTV Tunes. These stories and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories, I'll put a link to it in the show notes and in the first pinned comment so you can read all the stories I'm about to talk about there and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV. All right, let's dive into it. Forbes did an interesting story recently I wanted to dive into here a little bit, that within Wall Street there's increasing talk Comcast and Spectrum should merge, or I should say Spectrum's parent company, Charter Communications. Now they both are in the same business, but not in the same world. 90% of their business isn't competitive is kind of the idea here. They already have several joint ventures, including the X1, or it's not called the X1, the Xumo box now. Streaming player. This is a smart streaming device that they launched a joint venture together to kind of roll out to different cable companies to replace cable boxes with streaming boxes and to try to get cord cutters to sign up to use. They also, I talked about them not directly competing. That's because, hey, if you live in a Spectrum market, Comcast isn't there, right? If I get my copper cable into the home from Spectrum, Comcast isn't also running a copper cable. They've kind of agreed, you know, this is your market, this is my market kind of deal with it. And a lot of that goes back to the fact that it was deemed not financially feasible to have multiple companies trying to compete in that same market. So there's kind of a growing talk within Wall Street at the highest levels of a potential merger. That would be very interesting. Now, one of the big arguments here is that it's not anti-competitive anymore because there are so many other TV options and growing internet options. 5G home internet, Starlink, fiber. Like I just talked about, my neighborhood in West Michigan has 2 fiber options now. A new fiber option just ran down the street. I have 5G home internet from both T-Mobile and Verizon now available where I live. And I got a cable option. Of course, there's also SpaceX Starlink internet. Growing number of options where I live. And it's not like, you know, oh yeah, I have Comcast, for example. Not like Spectrum was one of those options. So keep an eye on this. We're already seeing a lot of small cable companies. Spectrum in particular has been very aggressive in buying up some smaller cable companies in order to try to grow its footprint and expand. A joint venture could help both companies survive, as both are losing subscribers right now for internet. For a long time, the idea was, yeah, they lose TV subscribers, they would switch over and start getting all of you with more expensive internet. Well, that more expensive internet just pushed people to 5G home internet options from T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, and others. They've also pushed you to new fiber options as fiber continues to grow and expand. And there's a growing number of other options like Starlink internet in rural America that is offering to connect many rural Americans who previously had no options. This will be interesting to see what happens. It's kind of like that Dish-DirecTV merger we thought would never happen. Came pretty close and still think there's a good option that may happen again in the future. Leave me a comment. Should Spectrum and Comcast merge? Let me know. All right, next up we have AT&T. Just speaking about rough internet options, AT&T is actually shutting down its 5G home internet service in New York. Now, this is because New York passed a law that set caps on what they could charge for speeds. They say internet of 200 down, should be sold for $20 a month, and 25 down should be for $15 a month with this for eligible low income. Problem is, AT&T says for its 5G home internet service, it is not financially feasible to sell home internet at that price. They just cannot afford it. It is better for them to cancel all their current contracts with all their customers and go from there. Now, they did say the current customers are going to get several months of service for free from AT&T this 5G home internet as they look for other internet providers to replace them. But AT&T has looked at the rules here, $20 for 200 down, and just said, hey, that's 5G home internet speed. 200-300 down is kind of the average speed for a lot of these 5G home internet services. We can't afford to sell it for $20 a month. We're just not going to offer internet. And there comes the catch with these kind of laws that try to set price fixing, because while that may work for a fiber or cable company that can offer that for a few, AT&T says we just can't afford that for 5G home internet. Be interested to see what T-Mobile does. Are they going to pull out too? What about Verizon? Now, AT&T does not have any other types of internet in those markets. They don't offer DSL. They don't offer cable, for example, or fiber, I should say, in those markets. So it's not a huge loss for that. But we'll have to keep a close eye on this and how that plays out. Now, what's really interesting, if other states start copying this, is AT&T is shutting down its traditional copper lines, which means its traditional phone service and DSL internet is coming to an end. AT&T says in many markets over the next 5 or so years, as they shut down their copper networks, will be replaced not with fiber, but with 5G home internet. If these laws come into place there in those markets where they're unable to afford that, they may shut down, remove DSL, and not replace it with 5G home internet. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out for some customers. We'll watch this closely, let you know what's happening, but AT&T 5G home internet no longer for sale in New York, and soon for New York customers won't be around anymore. All right, next story up. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is coming to MeTV Tunes sometime this year. Now, they have not set an exact date, but they have announced that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the classic original cartoon from the 80s and 90s, is coming to MeTV Tunes. This comes as MeTV Tunes continues to expand and diversify its lineup of programming with one of the most classic shows of many people in my generation's childhood. Were you a fan? Kind of fun to see it. Now streaming for free on an antenna. If you got a DVR for your antenna, you can start stacking up all those shows there for free. Watch them when you want. All right, a few big shows had milestones in this week. Starting off with The Outer Limits. It's hard to believe, but The Outer Limits came to an end in 1963, the original run of it. This week, the final episode of it. Don't adjust your TV. This is it. Any fans of The Outer Limits? With that. Also, the very first Bond film started filming this week. It's hard to believe it's been so long. Now, it didn't come out. I had some people leave comments about this. The original Bond film did not come out this week. It started filming this week, 63 years ago, yesterday from when I posted this. Shaken, not stirred became a well-known catchphrase. 63 years ago in production. All right, there's a new free ad-supported network coming from joint venture with Fox and NASCAR. NASCAR is launching a channel dedicated to all things NASCAR on Tubi later this month in January, on January 29th. This will have, of course, news, highlights, clips of current shows or races, but also re-air classic races for free, much like we've seen with the NBA channel, the NFL channel, and more, streaming on some of these free platforms, classic games, current news, current clips, and more of everything happening in the world of sports. It's great to see NASCAR joining the movement. I bet we'll see a lot more here soon. Also, Sling TV launched 19 new channels on its free streaming service, the Free Stream service, including a channel dedicated to National Lampoon content. Got 24/7 National Lampoon with this, now streaming on Sling TV for free with this, along with 18 other channels. If you want to find the full list of them, check out the show notes down below. Hey everybody, that's it for today. I hope you all have a fantastic day, a fantastic weekend. I'll be back this weekend with some special videos we will have out there. Make sure to hit that subscribe button or hit that thumbs up if you're new here. We would really appreciate your support. I really am thankful. I know I said this yesterday, but several thousand new subscribers are here. I did see some comments though. Hey, the background's different. You changed your look. I'm actually traveling. I'm down here with my family, trying to have a little family vacation. It's slightly warmer than what's very cold Michigan right now. But don't worry, we're here every day just like normal. I just got a different background. Before you know, I'll be back in our home office, home studio, with everything just the way it usually is. We appreciate your support, though. I'll be back again real soon. Until then, take care, be safe. Have a fantastic day, everybody.